Ethan wiped the sweat from his brow as he tightened the last bolt on the maintenance panel of the space station. The station orbited a small, recently discovered planet, far from Earth. Life here was lonely. Days blurred together with routine repairs, data checks, and endless system calibrations. He had grown used to the hum of the engines and the occasional flicker of the lights. Yet something about this quiet felt different today, though he couldn't quite name it. A sudden beep from the docking bay alert panel broke the silence. Ethan frowned. No ships were scheduled to arrive today. He rushed to the monitor and saw a small craft approaching fast. Its design was unfamiliar, sleek and shimmering with a green-blue metallic glow. He felt a twinge of unease. Aliens weren't supposed to show up randomly at human stations, at least. Not uninvited. The bay doors opened, and to Ethan's surprise, a small figure floated inside. Carried by the craft's energy field, she looked like no human he had ever seen. Her skin was pale with a faint luminescent shimmer, and her eyes were large, glimmering with colors he couldn't name. Her hair floated slightly, as if underwater. Ethan instinctively stepped back. "Human," she said, her voice trembling and almost musical. "I need that thing." Again, Ethan frowned, unsure what she meant. "Excuse me?" he asked. "What thing?" She pointed weakly at a small device strapped to his belt, the energy stabilizer he had salvaged. Months ago during an earlier mission, it was a compact, glowing cylinder, humming softly with stored power. He realized then that this alien girl, she must be very young, barely adolescent in appearance, was asking for it. "You need this?" he asked cautiously. "Yes, human. I feel weak. Need it." Her voice was urgent, almost desperate. She took a small step forward and almost stumbled, and Ethan's protective instincts kicked in. He hesitated. Giving her the device could be risky. It was an experimental stabilizer designed for alien physiology, and he wasn't authorized to just hand it over. But seeing her fragile state, the pale glow fading from her skin, he felt a surge of responsibility. "All right," he said carefully. "But I need to see how much you can handle. I can't just give it freely." Lyra's large eyes lit up, and a faint smile appeared. "Thank you, human. Thank you." Ethan knelt and placed the device in front of her. She took it gently, her fingers brushing against his hand. A warm glow spread across her body as the energy stabilized her metabolism. She straightened slightly, her strength returning in small bursts. Her breathing evened out and color returned to her cheeks. Ethan felt a mixture of relief and wonder. "You feel better?" he asked. "Yes." "Yes, stronger." "Thanks," she said, her voice now steadier. I need this." "Often?" Ethan blinked. "Often." He hadn't expected this to be a repeated need. "How often are we talking?" Her eyes shimmered again, reflecting a strange intensity. "Daily. Maybe more. If not human. Help." Ethan realized the situation was more serious than he had thought. This wasn't just a casual request. Her life depended on the stabilizer. He had to be careful, but also clever. There had to be a way to help her safely. He motioned for her to follow him to the lab. "All right. We'll figure something out. But we need to be careful. You can't just take this anywhere." Lyra floated beside him, her small frame barely making a sound. "I trust. Human, you. Help." In the lab, Ethan began examining the stabilizer, connecting it to monitors to see how it interacted with her physiology. Lyra watched curiously, tilting her head. "You know? Human smart," she said, almost in admiration. Ethan smiled faintly. "Well, we humans like to solve problems." Sometimes, he couldn't help but notice how fragile she seemed. Yet her eyes held a determination he hadn't expected. She was resourceful, aware, and intelligent. Even if she relied on him for survival, hours passed as he worked to create a temporary solution that could provide her with the necessary energy without fully giving away the device. He engineered a small interface, connecting her to a backup power module that could mimic the stabilizer's effects. Lyra's body glowed softly as the system activated, and she twitched slightly, adjusting to the artificial support. You. Human. Clever. She whispered. I feel almost full strength. Ethan leaned back, exhausted but satisfied. It's not perfect, but it'll keep you alive until we find a better long-term solution. Lyra's eyes shone with gratitude, and she floated closer. I, human, like stay near you. Ethan felt a strange warmth in his chest. He hadn't expected this alien trusting him so completely. But he knew that this bond was fragile. One wrong move could endanger both of them. And yet, he couldn't deny the curiosity and fascination he felt. Helping her wasn't just an obligation. It was an adventure he hadn't realized he was ready for, as night fell on the station. The hum of machinery and distant stars outside the viewport created a quiet, peaceful scene. Lyra rested near the lab's observation window, her glowing skin dimming to a calm shimmer. She seemed relaxed, almost content. For the first time since she arrived, Ethan looked at her and thought about the possibilities. Humans had always been explorers, problem solvers, and protectors. Yet, seeing her vulnerability and trust made him realize there was more to human potential than mere invention. It was courage, compassion, and the ability to make life better for others, even across species. For Lyra, Ethan had become more than a helper. He was a lifeline, a protector, and a source of hope in a universe she didn't fully understand. And for Ethan, she had become a reminder that even in the cold emptiness of space, human ingenuity and empathy could shine brighter than any star. The day ended with a silent understanding between them. Lyra needed him, and he would find a way to meet that need, no matter the risks. Neither of them knew what challenges the future would bring, but for now, they had each other, and that was enough to face the unknown. The next morning, Ethan arrived at the lab to find Lyra already awake. She floated near the observation window, her glowing form flickering softly as if she had been watching the stars all night. Good morning, Ethan said, trying to sound cheerful, though he had a sinking feeling that today might bring complications. Morning. Human, Lyra replied, her voice still soft but stronger than the previous day. I need stabilizers soon. Ethan nodded. Don't worry. I'll make sure you get it. But we need to do more than patch you up every day. We need a long-term solution. Lyra tilted her head, curious. Human. You help. Long-term? Yes, Ethan said. We can build a system that works automatically. It'll keep you strong without me giving you the device every time. Lyra's eyes sparkled. Human. Smart eye. Trust. As Ethan worked on the new system, he noticed how much Lyra had learned. She studied his tools, asked questions about energy flow, and even suggested minor adjustments based on observations he hadn't considered. It amazed him. Her species might be physically fragile, but her mind was sharp. She learned quickly. Hours passed and progress was slow but steady. Suddenly, the station's alert system blared. Red lights flashed across the corridors. Ethan's heart sank. What's happening? Lyra asked, floating closer. Ethan grabbed a console and checked the incoming transmissions. A mining crew had arrived unexpectedly, docking at the station. They were not part of the official schedule. Their communications were rough, aggressive, and demanding. They're looking for the energy stabilizer, Ethan said quietly. And they've seen you? Lyra's eyes widened. They want. Take yes, Ethan said. We have to protect you. And the device. The miners stormed into the station's central hub, armed and loud. Ethan felt a surge of adrenaline. This was no longer a simple engineering problem. This was a test of human courage and ingenuity. He turned to Lyra. Stay here. Do exactly what I tell you. She nodded, her glowing body trembling slightly. Human. Follow. Ethan quickly led her through maintenance tunnels, which only someone familiar with the station could navigate efficiently. He knew the miners would expect them to run, but he had a plan. He guided Lyra to a secure chamber where he had hidden spare parts and emergency equipment. Here, he said, handing her a small control panel he had improvised. I need you to help me. Watch the monitors. Press buttons when I tell you. Lyra's large eyes flickered with determination. I help. Human. Always. Ethan smiled faintly. Her trust and willingness to cooperate gave him confidence. Together, they watched as the miners searched the station, oblivious to the hidden chamber. Now, Ethan whispered, turn the dial to maximum output. Lyra carefully adjusted the panel. Lights on the chamber flickered, and a pulse of energy spread through the ventilation system. The miners froze as the station's automated defenses activated holographic barriers. Alarms and pressure locks created obstacles the intruders could not bypass. Human. Clever. Lyra whispered, impressed. Ethan grinned, feeling a surge of pride. We humans can be clever when it matters. Just stay close. The miners tried to force their way past the barriers. But every time they approached, Ethan and Lyra adjusted the system. Ethan's human problem-solving skills and Lyra's quick thinking turned the station itself into a trap for the intruders. Every corridor became a puzzle. Only Ethan and Lyra could navigate efficiently. Hours of careful coordination passed, and the miners grew frustrated and exhausted. Ethan realized that the station, combined with their teamwork, had become stronger than the intruders. Eventually, the miners retreated, unable to reach the stabilizer or harm Lyra. Lyra floated beside him, glowing brighter with excitement. Human beat. Them, Ethan nodded. Yes, you helped too. Your knowledge of your own biology helped me make the system work better. She smiled, a small, radiant glow that seemed to fill the chamber. Human. Strong. Clever. I like help. Ethan felt a strange warmth. It was more than pride, it was respect. Humans were capable of courage and ingenuity that could protect life, even in the most alien and dangerous situations. Lyra had not only survived, but thrived because of their teamwork. Once the station was secure, Ethan took a moment to rest. Lyra floated close, her energy now stabilized by the system he had completed. Human, you. Protector, friend, she said softly. Ethan shook his head, smiling. I'm just doing what anyone would do. But you've shown me something too. Your species may rely on humans sometimes. But you teach humans to think in new ways too. Lyra blinked, her large eyes reflecting curiosity and admiration. I, human, learn much. From you? As the day turned to night on the station, Ethan and Lyra looked out at the stars. The galaxy stretched endlessly before them, full of unknown planets, unknown dangers, and unknown friends. Ethan realized that humans' greatest strength wasn't just their technology or strength, it was their courage, adaptability, and willingness to protect others. Lyra drifted closer, her glowing form calming. Human, safe. Because you... Ethan nodded. And I'll keep finding ways to make you safer. We'll figure this out together. In that quiet moment, the bond between human and alien grew stronger. They had faced real danger and emerged victorious, not because of weapons or luck, but because humans could think, adapt, and act with courage under pressure. Lyra depended on him, yes, but Ethan realized he had gained something as well, a glimpse of what humans could achieve in a universe full of unknowns. Their partnership had begun as a necessity, but it was becoming something more: trust, respect, and a shared determination to survive and thrive. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers and mysteries, but with each other, they were ready to face whatever came next. Ethan looked at Lyra and smiled. Tomorrow, we'll continue improving the system. But tonight, we rest. You earned it. Lyra's soft glow pulsed gently as if in agreement. Thank. Human rest. Good. And as the station settled into a calm hum, Ethan realized that this small alien girl had changed his life. Humans had always been explorers, problem solvers, and protectors, but now he understood that even in the far reaches of space, courage, intelligence, and heart could create bonds that cross species, boundaries, and the stars themselves. The morning sun, The faint glow of the distant star the station orbited shone through the observation windows. Ethan sipped his recycled coffee, staring at the small figure of Lyra floating near the control panels. Her glow was steady now, a calm greenish blue, and she moved with a grace that made her seem almost weightless. "Morning, Lyra," Ethan said, setting down his cup. "Ready to work on the next upgrade?" Lyra floated closer, her large eyes bright with curiosity. "Yes. Human. Ready. Help me." "Better." Ethan smiled. "That's the plan. Today we make the system permanent. You won't have to rely on me for every dose of energy." Lyra's eyes widened slightly. "Permanent. Human. You. Clever." He chuckled softly. "Humans can be clever when we have to. Let's start." They spent the morning working together. Ethan explained each step as he modified the stabilizer interface, integrating alien circuitry with human engineering. Lyra's understanding grew with each adjustment. She pointed out how certain alien energy flows could improve efficiency, something Ethan could never have anticipated. "You? Human? Smart? Learned fast," Lyra said, her voice filled with admiration. "And you, Lyra," Ethan replied, "have taught me things I couldn't have figured out alone. We make a good team." By midday, the new system was ready for testing. Ethan connected Lyra to the upgraded interface. Lights pulsed, and the energy flowed through her body in a soft, steady rhythm. Her glow brightened instantly, stronger and more stable than ever before. "Feel perfect," she whispered, floating a little higher. "No, weakness." "Thanks, human." Ethan felt a wave of relief. It had worked. She no longer needed the old stabilizer constantly. For the first time, Lyra could rely on her own strength, enhanced by their joint ingenuity. Before they could celebrate fully, the station's alert system flashed again. Ethan tensed. Another ship was approaching, this one large, armed, and clearly not friendly. "Lyra," he said quietly, "we might have another problem." Her eyes flickered with concern. "Human. Danger. We. Fight?" "Yes," Ethan said. "But together, humans adapt." "We'll handle this." The attackers attempted to board, cutting through the outer defenses. Ethan quickly moved through the station corridors, Lyra close behind. They reached the control hub, and Ethan activated the upgraded system. This time, it wasn't just for Lyra. It interfaced with the station's energy fields, creating barriers and redirects that no intruder could bypass easily. Lyra helped, her alien abilities allowing her to manipulate the system's energy in ways Ethan could not. Together, they created illusions, rerouted power, and locked the intruders out of critical areas. The attackers tried to press forward, but every move they made was anticipated and countered. "You. Human. Amazing," Lyra said, watching Ethan adjust panels and reconfigure energy flows with quick, precise movements. Ethan smirked. "We humans are clever, and we're not giving up easily." Hours passed as they defended the station. Sweat and exhaustion weighed heavily on Ethan, but Lyra's presence kept him focused. They moved as one. Human ingenuity and alien instinct combined into a seamless defense. Eventually, the attackers realized they were outmatched. Their systems couldn't cope with the constantly changing obstacles, and they withdrew, leaving the station unharmed. When the red alert lights finally stopped flashing, Ethan sank into a chair, breathing heavily. Lyra floated nearby, her glow dimming to a gentle calm. "We. Safe. Because." "You," Lyra said softly, almost in awe. "No," Ethan replied, shaking his head. "We're safe because we worked together. You're clever, fast, and smart. Humans are good at solving problems, but it's teamwork that wins." Lyra blinked, processing his words. "Teamwork. Human. Strong eye. Trust you." Ethan leaned back, finally allowing himself a moment of quiet. He thought about how far they had come from a fragile alien girl relying on a small device, to a strong ally who could face danger alongside him. Humans were capable of remarkable things. But this moment reminded him that courage, adaptability, and compassion were just as important as any technology. As the station quieted down, Ethan and Lyra moved to the observation balcony. Stars stretched endlessly before them, glittering like diamonds on black velvet. You, human, different from others. Strong, kind, Lyra said, her voice soft and sincere. I learn. Humans. Special. Ethan looked at her and smiled. We are. We face challenges, adapt, and protect those who need us. Sometimes we surprise ourselves with what we can do. Lyra's glow pulsed gently, almost like a heartbeat. I, human. Like, stay with you. Protect me. You. Ethan nodded. And I'll always protect you, Lyra. Not just because you need it, but because I want to. Humans care about life, even alien life, and we've learned to trust each other. The quiet stretched on as they watched the stars together. For Ethan, this moment felt like the universe acknowledging human courage and ingenuity. For Lyra, it was the first time she felt completely safe, supported and respected by another species. This. Human. Good. World safe. You, she whispered, her voice almost melodic. Ethan smiled, feeling a mix of pride and relief. Yes, Lyra, it's safe. And it will stay that way. The events of the past days had tested both of them. But they had grown stronger, smarter, and closer. Ethan realized that humans could face the unknown and come out victorious not just through weapons or strength, but through courage, intelligence, and a willingness to act when others might hesitate. Lyra turned to him, her eyes glowing softly. Human, I need nothing. Now, because you taught me. Ethan shook his head with a chuckle. I didn't teach you everything. You helped me too. You've shown me that humans can adapt, think, and survive in ways even we don't fully understand. That's why we make a good team. Lyra's glow brightened briefly, a sign of her happiness and trust. Human, friend. Always, always, Ethan said firmly. We face the stars together, and we make it work. That's what humans do. As the station settled into silence and the stars stretched endlessly before them, Ethan realized something profound. Humans were more than just explorers and problem solvers. They were protectors, innovators, and allies capable of inspiring loyalty, trust, and hope across species and worlds. Lyra floated closer, touching the edge of the balcony gently. Human. Happy. Together. Ethan smiled, feeling the bond they had forged stronger than any system, stronger than any challenge. Me too, Lyra. Me too. The galaxy was vast, unpredictable, and sometimes dangerous. But as long as humans could think, adapt, and care, there was hope for life, even the most fragile. Alien life to survive and thrive, and in that quiet moment, under the endless stars, both human and alien knew they were ready for whatever came next together.